Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Norfolk State Coaches Show. I'm Brian Smith, along with Spartans head coach Michael Vick. Shane Fordham will be with us shortly. But first, season finale happening in the nation's capital, and obviously not to your liking. A final of 44-15, finish 1-11. Your thoughts?
My thoughts? Hey, it's only up from here, man. It's only up from here. That's all I can say.
Do you ever think about situations like this where you go, there's a reason why, we were just talking about it, of this is going to happen, but it teaches you about yourself?
Yeah, definitely teaches me about myself. Hopefully, you know, for our coaching staff, it teaches them about themselves. For our players, it teaches them about themselves. And we didn't control the things that we could control. And when you go back and look at it, and I can't wait to go back and watch everything in detail, you know, just to get some clarity moving forward. But I think, you know, they tried their best. You know, probably maxed out at times. And certainly when I look at this season and recapping in my mind, it was just too penalty riddled. They did a lot of good things, man, but just too many flags, too many penalties, and that's got to be corrected.
What did you tell them afterwards?
Afterwards, man, it really wasn't nothing to say, you know, in terms of, you know, I think we said everything we needed to say during the week. Our seniors spoke, and it was really you know, a great senior farewell, not on the field, but in terms of us communicating and the brotherhood that we're trying to create, and, you know, the structure that we're trying to create moving forward and what it's going to be in 2026. So, you know, I just wanted the next generation to hear from the younger guys who was getting up out of there. And, you know, for Saturday, it was going out and just playing your best and playing your heart out and doing whatever you can to win the game. And, you know, we didn't have, you know, the players that we wanted to have out there in terms of, you know, our starting quarterback. And, you know, Vincent stepped in and he did a great job. You know, Cam finished strong, you know, had a great outing. So, look, I think the seniors went out with a bang, and Kayvon had a great day, as you see right there, man. So I think it was a good way to finish, but obviously not the result that we wanted at all.
What was the game plan going into a game like this to finish the season?
The game plan going into the game was to run the ball and you know, to try to, you know, get the guys going from a receiving end, and, you know, hoping that Vincent could, you know, go out there and make some plays that we know he can make. And, you know, obviously started out strong. But I think the penalties, once we, you know, I think they had a punt, and then we jumped off sides, and then we had a personal foul, and then they got the ball back. And just a huge momentum swing that, you know, just was, you know, created by penalties.
It looked like a snowball effect, which happens sometimes if you're not careful. Yeah. Let's switch gears a little bit. We'll talk about your quarterback, Vincent Berry, the sophomore, getting the start. But you were plugging in new faces, just almost like a job interview for what's to come.
Not really a job interview for anybody. I think for everybody moving forward, it's just going to be competition all across the field. And I think when you create that type of environment where you know, nobody's the set starter, you can lose your job at any particular time. I know when I played in those situations, it was probably the best for me because, you know, playing with a little bit of pressure made me focus in more. And so I want to challenge these guys moving forward, and I want to challenge them to do the right things. It's going to start in the offseason, and hopefully it will carry over into 2026.
For this particular game, what were you trying to establish offensively? I noticed the first few series, good balance of pass and run in this case.
Yeah, well, you know, obviously with a backup quarterback, and Vincent, look, I feel like, you know, he's had enough snaps. It was just about getting them comfortable, giving them some easy throws, and still leaning on the run game, but knowing that we can advance the ball down the field if we don't create, you know, the penalties and we don't set ourselves back. I think it was at one point the offense had one on the field for about 15 minutes because the defense was on the field for so long in terms of, you know, the things that was happening, but you know, for us to go out there and, you know, have a nice mixture of run and pass was probably what we wanted to do. But, you know, all of a sudden we fell into a huge deficit and was trailing, and now you gotta try to play catch up.
I noticed that time of possession, Howard had it for like 34 minutes to your 25, and how difficult is it to try and battle back from something like that?
Yeah, it's tough, and I think from a defensive standpoint, it was the penalties that was being created, the personal fouls. That was mainly really bonehead plays that we was creating, and it was evident, you know. So I know everybody watching, seeing those things take place, and once we eliminate those type of things, we'll be, you know, real competitive in these ball games, and I think a lot of them, a majority of them, will come out on top with the right people in place.
Okay, well, still to come on the Coach's Show, Shane Fordham. He's going to join us in a bit. He'll touch base with Coach about the defensive side of the ball against the Bison.
What the heck? What are you guys doing?
We decided to kick off Black Friday early this year.
Early? All right, let's do it.
At Bannister Nissan, you don't have to wait till Black Friday. We have Black Friday savings all month long. Get up to $7,500 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade and get 0% financing up to 72 months. Plus, no payments until spring. Visit us today at Bannister Nissan, Chesapeake and Norfolk.
Your world changed in seconds, not by choice. But now you get to choose who fights for you. At Corseland Law, we don't just handle cases like the other firms. We go to war to get our clients paid for their injuries. Personal injury, real people, real stakes. Let us carry the weight. Free consultation, fierce representation. Corseland Law, because this fight is personal.
Step away from the ordinary and into style at Stark and Legham Haberdashery. Level up your wardrobe with quality menswear from head to toe, including the largest selection of headwear in coastal Virginia. Explore brands and styles that define distinction. Doss, Stetson, Borsalino, Bigali, Kangol. Visit Stark and Legham at 723 Granby Street in Norfolk or shop online at starkandlegham.com. Proudly serving the community since 1924.
At Graves Funeral Home, we understand that the cost of burying a loved one can be difficult for a family to go through. For over 70 years, we have worked with our families to provide a service no matter what budget they have.
Since 1953, we have taken pride in the preparation we do in honoring the life of your loved one with compassion and attention to detail that is second to none.
In your darkest hour, make your brightest choice, Graves Funeral Home.
Your world changed in seconds, not by choice. But now you get to choose who fights for you. At Corseland Law, we don't just handle cases like the other firms. We go to war to get our clients paid for their injuries. Personal injury, real people, real stakes. Let us carry the weight. Free consultation, fierce representation. Corseland Law, because this fight is personal.
Norfolk State University Coach's Show. Sponsored by Bannister Automotive.
Welcome back to the Norfolk State University Coach's Show. Now, Coach Vick, not the overall result that you wanted, but did you see some positives, at least looking at the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I thought some of our guys played good. You know, obviously going back and looking at it, you know, we got some turnovers, man. We hadn't had turnovers in a couple weeks. I think, you know, this interception right here was big for us. It might have led to a score. I can't recap it right now, but I think we made some good plays, man. Obviously gave up too many big plays, and that was the determining factor in the game.
Now, I know the tide turned in the second quarter, but the defense got off to a strong start in the first quarter. I mean, what do you think the biggest difference was for the defense between that first quarter and when things took a turn in the second?
Penalties. The defense set themselves back with penalties, personal fouls, jumping off sides. You know, just you name it, they did it in a sense. But, man, from what I can remember, man, and I wish I could tell you more, it was just a lot of penalties from our team. And so penalties that could have been negated, that they don't have to commit. And, hey, man, it's you know, it's to evaluate everything right now. And like I say, once we stop committing those penalties in those inopportune times, man, then we'll be a better football team.
So do you think the end result was more of a sign of, you know, internal factors for the team as opposed to external, as opposed to just being outplayed by Howard?
Yeah, it wasn't us getting outplayed. It was definitely it's definitely an internal thing, you know, that, you know, definitely will be addressed at the right times. And so when you can identify the problems, you can see it, it gives me optimism still sitting at 1-11 to know that we can change. And so, that makes me feel good. And that's part of my job moving forward, is to take a deep dive into what needs to change so we can be the football team that we want to be.
And speaking of that change, that optimism, we saw you put in a couple of young guys, new faces in on both sides of the ball that we really haven't seen for most of the season. Your thought process behind that?
I tried to get a couple more in there, but it just wasn't timing out. But yeah, threw some guys out there that, especially, one of our offensive lineman, Keontae, wanted to see what he can do. He's 6'8", and 325 pounds, so want to get some film on him and just evaluate so we know what we got to bring in, because now is a crucial time as we start to look to what the future is going to look like.
And speaking of guys we haven't seen much of this season, today's top play, I got to go with Nasir Bashir. His second of 2 interceptions on the day. If we can roll that film, looks like it was going to be a pick 6, clean read by Nasir. I mean, walk me through I know it got called back, but just walk me through how electric this play was and could have been for this defense in this matchup.
Man, just the fact that he got the pick and returned it to the house, and then all for it to be negated by another penalty, personal foul, man. It's it's just the story of the season, man, and it's really not funny when you think about it, man, because it makes me upset. So right now I got to really laugh to keep from crying. But those plays right there, man, and you've seen so many of them this season, is the reason why we sit where we sit. And so when we take that away, this team is going to be a really good football team. And like I say, all I can think about now is just taking a deep dive into how we make plays like that count.
Well, Coach Vick, after the break, B. Smith will join us again for more thoughts on the future.
Sir.
After the break.
Your world changed in seconds, not by choice. But now you get to choose who fights for you. At Corsland Law, we don't just handle cases like the other firms. We go to war to get our clients paid for their injuries. Personal injury, real people, real stakes. Let us carry the weight. Free consultation, fierce representation. Corsland Law, because this fight is personal.
One of the most difficult things to do when you're graduating from college or close to graduating is trying to establish your credit history. With Bannister Nissan's college grad program, we have extra rebate and allows them to qualify for the best interest rates. And you'll get your oil changes and your state inspections paid for, and you can defer your payments up to 90 days. We work with all accredited universities, 2-year and 4-year. That means that the parent doesn't have to co-sign. Being able to have a car and buy it on your own for the first time, I remember doing that, and that's exciting.
Step away from the ordinary and into style at Stark and Legham Haberdashery. Level up your wardrobe with quality menswear from head to toe, including the largest selection of headwear in coastal Virginia. Explore brands and styles that define distinction. Doss, Stetson, Borsalino, Bigali, Kangol. Visit Stark and Legham at 723 Granby Street in Norfolk, or shop online at starkandlegham.com. Proudly serving the community since 1924.
At Graves Funeral Home, we understand that the cost of burying a loved one can be difficult for a family to go through. For over 70 years, we have worked with our families to provide a service no matter what budget they have.
Since 1953, we have taken pride in the preparation we do in honoring the life of your loved one with compassion and attention to detail that is second to none.
In your darkest hour, make your brightest choice Graves Funeral Home.
We have the threat of numerous severe storms.
It's declared tomorrow's a weather impact alert.
Thunderstorms with gusty winds, possibly some hail and some heavy rainfall.
We have team coverage.
The rain's starting to pick up. It's getting a little windier.
A pretty feisty little cell here.
We're not done with this. Some of those heavier cells.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 13 News Now Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Norfolk State University Coaches Show. Sponsored by Bannister Automotive.
It's no secret. This has been one of those long seasons for the Spartans, but in spite of their record, Coach, what kind of identity were you trying to establish this season with this team?
We was just trying to come out and be a hard-nosed football team. Trying to be complete, man. On the offensive side, we wanted to be physical up front. We wanted to run the football. I think we finished third in the MEAC in rushing. I think, we had good passing numbers, passing, touchdown to interception ratio. I think we did a lot of good things on the offensive side of the ball and wanted to kind of be like just a fluid offense that, attack, get up, and go fast. And on the defensive side, wanted to be aggressive. Certainly it starts with being physical up front, stopping the run. We wanted to stop the run and play well on the back end in terms of, our coverages. And so I wanted to just be well-rounded. Next year, the identity of just be a more physical football team, and a smart football team is what we're going to be.
There's also one of those moments, too. They actually, during the slide, improved. There were 3 games in which 3 of the last 4 games were one-possession games. What did that say about what you were trying to get across to them, and then in some cases, it clicking?
Yeah, for us and what we was able to put out on the field, it showed that we were really, really close. I think we did a lot of good things in moments where it counted, and they fought to the end. They didn't quit. That's the one thing I wouldn't allow. When we was 1-4, 1-6, 1-8, you're not gonna quit. You're gonna play hard to the end. And what I can say is I got 4 quarters out of them for all 12 games, and they never let up. They still showed up on time. They might have had some issues where, they missed some things, and it was because of immaturity or just being irresponsible, and those things that, I'm paying close attention to, things that will be corrected. But for the most part, man, they still showed up. I appreciate the effort, like I told them, and that was one of the conversations I had with them before the game. I appreciated the effort, and, in the win-loss column, it wasn't good enough. Expectations are very high, and we got to continue to build, and it's only up from here.
In spite of the struggles from the season, describe to folks who may not really understand from an outsider's perspective, what kind of culture were you trying to develop with this team, this program?
Not trying to develop, still developing. We're still creating a culture. Culture I see in change. It takes some time to implement it. I think we got it, but it has to come from everybody. And so for me, to evaluate, look at this season, what did we do well, what didn't we do well, how can we get better, is something that I'm going to take into account. It all starts with me, and the culture will continue to expand, and it'll be centered upon discipline, doing the right things, and coming to play each and every week, whether it's on Saturdays or whether it's from the first practice all the way to our walkthrough pregame. And so I'm really excited about moving forward. All the experience that I gained, I felt like every week as a coach, I felt more and more like a head coach, and now I can come into year 2 not feeling like a rookie head coach and going into it knowing that I know what to do. I got a plan, and it's going to get implemented. It's going to work.
I'm sure it will. Yeah. Still to come on the NSU Coaches Show, Shane Fordham returns with a favorite of Coach Vick's. It's Vick's Pick. We'll let you know who has been picked this season.
It's hard to believe that we have locations in Chesapeake, Norfolk, and the Peninsula. That's so convenient.
My hand is stuck.
We're not stopping the commercial.
And we have the best seasons for all specials.
The best specials for all seasons.
That's what I said.
It's better at Bannister.
Step away from the ordinary and into style at Stark and Legham Haberdashery. Level up your wardrobe with quality menswear from head to toe, including the largest selection of headwear in coastal Virginia. Explore brands and styles that define distinction. Doss, Stetson, Borsalino, Bengali, Kangol. Visit Stark and Legham at 723 Granby Street in Norfolk, or shop online at starkandlegham.com. Proudly serving the community since 1924.
At Graves Funeral Home, we understand that the cost of burying a loved one can be difficult for a family to go through. For over 70 years, we have worked with our families to provide a service no matter what budget they have.
Since 1953, we have taken pride in the preparation we do in honoring the life of your loved one with compassion and attention to detail that is second to none.
In your darkest hour, make your brightest choice, Graves Funeral Home.
Your world changed in seconds, not by choice. But now you get to choose who fights for you. At Courseland Law, we don't just handle cases like the other firms. We go to war to get our clients paid for their injuries. Personal injury, real people, real stakes. Let us carry the weight. Free consultation, fierce representation. Courseland Law, because this fight is personal.
The 13 News Now Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time.
Frank, say a weather alert day. Let's get right into it.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Gotta get through the morning, mainly morning rain.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 13 News Now Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Man, every time I come to Bannister Nissan, I'm blown away by the selection.
We got great people and great prices.
I get it, and that's why I trust Bannister Nissan, the dealership that treats you like family.
That's right. Come see why it's better at Bannister.
Norfolk State University Coaches Show. Sponsored by Bannister Automotive.
You're watching the Norfolk State University Coaches Show. Now, Coach, for this week's edition of Vick's Pick, the last edition of the Vick's Pick, who is your pick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my man, VJ Berg. Man, I got to go pay homage to the offensive line, to somebody on the offensive line. They did a great job this year, man. Obviously, there was times where they could have been better, but I felt like they battled, they fought. And look, VJ was a catalyst for that. He's one of our seniors here. I think he went out with a bang going to the Legacy Bowl, man, and just looking forward to watching his journey, man. So it's been one of my most trusted leaders on this football team.
And going into that leadership, how would you describe VJ's role within that offensive line specifically?
Well, he moved around a lot, this year, man. Just wanted to do whatever it took to help the team succeed and move forward. And so, as you can see right there, man, just being physical at the point of attack, that's what we wanted to do. And a lot of the success from the offense came through VJ. So, man, just shouting them out, man, wishing them much success in the future and look forward to helping them every step of the way.
And this offensive line, this is a group you challenged early on in the season. You wanted to see more from those guys in the trenches. How would you say they sort of responded, answered to that call as the season progressed?
I think they responded. I also think that they can go back and look at, probably each and every game and see some game-changing plays and some plays that they could have made. But I think for the most part, like I said, all our backs had a great year. Our quarterback had a good year. Our offense really had a good year in terms of production. And they left some plays out there, but we'll make those plays next year. Can't make them all.
And obviously a lot of talent in that skill position room for this offense. How important is having a quality offensive line like what the Spartans had this year, especially as the season progressed, to protect those guys?
Yeah, it was great. But we got to build on it. We got to get better. We got to put guys in better positions. We got to bring in, some talent as we lose some guys. And so, it's an opportunity for us to get better. I appreciate it. I respect the process. I'm trusting the process. And now we get a chance to reevaluate, look at this season, and come back strong in 2026. It's up from here.
And, Coach, you've been talking about what the team will look like next season, recruiting, developing. I mean, how hard will it be to fill VJ's shoes? I mean, you talked about a guy who was really versatile, moved around, could play multiple positions on that front line. I mean, how hard will it be to find some shoes to replace VJ with?
Well, you just got to go out and find the right guys, and then you got to develop them, man. That's what it's about. It's about teaching and developing, making these guys great players. Of course, they got to meet you halfway with the talent and the willingness, but then for us, man, it's about coaching them and putting them in the right positions.
Well, Coach, after the break, Brian Smith returns again for final thoughts, just looking at a recap of the season, everything you learned. We'll be right back. Up next.
What the heck? What are you guys doing?
We decided to kick off Black Friday early this year.
Early? All right, let's do it.
At Bannister Nissan, you don't have to wait till Black Friday. We have Black Friday savings all month long. Get up to $7,500 over Kelly Blue Book for your trade and get 0% financing up to 72 months. Plus, no payments until spring. Visit us today at Bannister Nissan, Chesapeake and Norfolk.
At Graves Funeral Home, we understand that the cost of burying a loved one can be difficult for a family to go through. For over 70 years, we have worked with our families to provide a service no matter what budget they have.
Since 1953, we have taken pride in the preparation we do in honoring the life of your loved one with compassion and attention to detail that is second to none.
In your darkest hour, make your brightest choice Graves Funeral Home.
Step away from the ordinary and into style at Stark and Legham Haberdashery. Level up your wardrobe with quality menswear from head to toe, including the largest selection of headwear in coastal Virginia. Explore brands and styles that define distinction. Doss, Stetson, Borsalino, Bengali, Kangol. Visit Stark and Legham at 723 Granby Street in Norfolk or shop online at starkandlegham.com. Proudly serving the community since 1924.
Your world changed in seconds, not by choice. But now you get to choose who fights for you. At Courseland Law, we don't just handle cases like the other firms. We go to war to get our clients paid for their injuries. Personal injury, real people, real stakes. Let us carry the weight. Free consultation, fierce representation. Courseland Law, because this fight is personal.
One of the most difficult things to do when you're graduating from college or close to graduating is trying to establish your credit history. With Bannister Nissan's college grad program, we have extra rebate and allows them to qualify for the best interest rates. And you'll get your oil changes and your state inspections paid for, and you can defer your payments up to 90 days. We work with all accredited universities 2-year and 4-year. That means that the parent doesn't have to co-sign. Being able to have a car and buy it on your own for the first time, I remember doing that, and that's exciting.
The 13 News Now Plus TV app. Streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time.
Breaks a weather alert day. Let's get right into it.
Track how the weather will impact your day.
Gotta get through the morning, mainly morning rain.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news. Live from the scene. Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. 13 News Now Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Norfolk State University Coaches Show. Sponsored by Bannister Automotive.
We end with final thoughts from Coach, your first official season as a head coach. Let's go through it. What was this experience like for you?
It was a great experience. I mean, I woke up on, every Monday through Friday, excited to go to work. I woke up on Saturdays and Thursdays, 2 Thursday games, excited and ready to go and inspire, teach, and coach, man. And it was an amazing experience regardless of what the records show or how it looked. I'm so thankful to have this opportunity to have spent the time with these young men, even though, they get in their own way at times. I love every single young man on that roster, and I might say some things about football that I might not like, but it's just a game. It's a part of the game. But as far as individuals, my coaching staff, the work that they put in, and the games that we was in, and the games that was close, and my players is fighting all the way to the end. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the experience.
Shane.
Now, Coach, for a first-time head coach, you have more experience than your average first-time head coach, not just your playing experience, but those you were able to learn from. Yeah. Going in, how would you say the overall experience compared to maybe what you thought going in? Is it kind of what you expected, or?
No, I expected more. I expected it to be better, but that's just me as a competitor. That's me. And when I put my mind to something, or I put my mind into something, or gather with a group of men to help some young men go accomplish something, you always expect the best. And so, what I take away from that is looking at it from afar. Okay, here's areas where I got to probably insert a little bit more and pay more attention to, just to make sure that everything is all locked down when it's supposed to be. But like I said, it was an amazing season, great learning experience, learning each and every year, each and every day, and still getting advice from all the right people as to how to move forward. So I'm thankful for that, But I feel like I got a good feel for what needs to happen moving forward.
And how excited are you to apply those changes, those adjustments for next season?
The next season can't start quick enough, but I'm gonna take some time off, man. But I tell you what, man, even with the time off, at least 2 to 3 days out the week, out the day, will be devoted to watching film, breaking it all down.
Yeah.
You know, what can we do better, and then going out and getting some really good football players.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for Shane Furham, Coach Michael Vick. I'm Brian Smith. As always, we thank you for watching. Behold, the green and gold.